Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Seattle Stitcher. This is going to be a Flosstube extra. I happen to have the day off of work because I have an appointment I've got to take my daughter to, and that means that I have time to film. I do have some food cooking, so I will be cutting out where I go and get that out of the oven. But anyways, as I say, you are all very, very welcome here. If you're a returning viewer, elephant in the room, I did get my hair chopped off. I don't know, I kind of wanted a change. I think my hair looks healthier and better. And if you don't like it, don't tell me. All right, love you. Okay, so this is gonna be a kit parade. And I'm gonna kind of just go for it. I have everything piled up next to me. My daughter's taking a nap right now. We're hoping for the best, okay? I do have a lot of stuff kitted up. I know I've only been a cross stitcher for like a year and a half, but I don't know, I have a problem. So bear with me, we'll get through this. So the first one that I just pulled up is actually a PDF that I'm going to be stitching off of, and this is Michelle Bendy Stitchy. She has some patterns available. I'll pop a picture of this pattern here. This is the Rolodex Morning Sampler. I really loved this piece, and I did end up going ahead and purchasing the DMCs that are called for with it. I'm honestly not sure if I'm going to keep this with the DMCs or if I'm just going to go ahead and purchase the fancy flosses, because I think the fancy flosses might just bring something to the piece that is missing with the DMCs. Although I do love DMCs, you'll see that as we go along. So I did get some Grace Notes fabric. This is Black Licorice. This is actually an Ada, and I know that this piece is actually really small, so it does not need this much fabric. This is a 16 count. But because I don't like cutting down my fabric before I start the project, honestly, until I'm actually finished with the project, I don't like cutting it down. I just have the whole piece in here, just in case I do end up changing my mind and using this fabric for something else. Again, this is Black Licorice by Grace Notes, and I have a 1/4 of a yard here, or a fat quarter, I believe is what it's called. I did pick this up at Stitchcon this year in 2023, so I just thought this looked really good. It's like a spooky backdrop for this pattern. Definitely go support. She also has a Flosstube, Michelle Vanity, if you're interested. The next pattern I have here is another PDF pattern. I'm kind of glad I ended up grabbing those to begin with, so it's easier for my editing. But this is, I believe, a Park Hopper Bart pattern. Spooky Bats. I forget the rest of it. Of course, there'll be a picture on the screen here. And this one, I ended up doing just a conversion off of what I have in stash. So I pulled Classic Colorworks Sassy Brass, which is just this nice golden color. Rainy Day, another Classic Colorworks. And this is Grasshopper by Weeks Dye Works, and then just black DMC. So I pretty much just pulled really similar to the called fors, but a little different. And then I do, again, I know that this piece is very small, so it doesn't need this large of a cut of fabric, but I just throw the whole thing in there. And I kind of keep a tally in my head of what I know I have extra fabric in. So if I do purchase another small and there's not fabric in the bag, I know that it's existing in another bag. This is Flan, which is a Picture This Plus Fabric of the Month. This is a 40 count linen. I really love my cut of it because I feel like I got the best of both worlds. I have a really light side over here and a dark side over there. And since I am, of course, doing a small on here, I'll definitely have probably like half of this still available to stitch on, which I do plan on stitching Halloween smalls for a like Halloween tree eventually in the future. So this will be a good option for fabric for that. Moving from there, I have a Nebby Needle pattern. I've had this pattern pretty much since the beginning of my cross stitch journey. I really, really love this piece. So this is Witching Hour. I think Bridget, the Museum Stitcher, might have this as well. Or sorry, this is a Witching Time of Night. Really simple pattern, very basic. I have Witching Hour and I have Shaker White. These are both sampler. This is a Gentle Arts, yeah, Gentle Arts. It's just very basic variegated, and this is a 32 count Pumpkin King, which I think is an Atomic Ranch fabric. But love this. This is my leftovers from a Halloween piece that I finished last year. That was the only piece I finished last year, I'm pretty sure. But I am really excited to pull it out and work on it. So yeah, I really love this one. No project bag for it. It's literally just in this plastic bag, and I just kind of toss the flosses in the front. And I put the pattern in the back facing outwards, so I have all my flosses and everything all in the bag that the pattern came in. That just makes it simple for me. So for instance, here is another one. So this kit is Plum Street Samplers Hello Fall, and this was actually a gift from Bridget, the museum stitcher, and I have kitted it since she sent me the pattern. So really cute pattern, totally my style, 100%. She knows me very well. And in here I have a scrap of Fawn, which is a 36 count by Picture This Plus. Here it is. Kind of a weird cut, but the piece is like long versus not, there's not much height to it. So just have a nice scrap here. And again, it'll only probably use about half of this, but I'll have another small scrap in my stash. And I did go ahead and just kit it up with DMCs. Like I said, I do love some DMCs. So I just went through my stash and pulled all the DMCs because I happen to have them all in my stash because I actually have a pretty good assortment of DMCs now because I've UFO'd quite a few projects. I think even you'll see some of these patterns, I don't have the DMCs in the bag, but I know I have them in my stash because I have had it kitted previously. I know at least one pattern that's the case, but really love this one. And Fawn by Picture This Plus is definitely one of my favorites when it comes to fabrics. It's a really good neutral, as you guys saw. It's not too pink, not too brown, not too yellow. It's just a really nice, sorry for the noise. It's just a really nice neutral. And I really like the modeling on it as well. I'm using this to stitch a pattern right now. It's a Teresa Kogut pattern, Come to the Garden. So if you've seen that piece, then you'll be aware I love some Fawn. That's a large piece that I'm stitching on Fawn. Next one here, this is Spring Quaker by Leela Studio. And I am currently working on Halloween Quaker. I will say though, I think that these patterns are very different, the Halloween versus the spring one here, the layout of them, I should say. And I ended up, because I watched, or no, I saw on Instagram the, I always say her name wrong, Hughie Stitcher? Hughie, I think it is. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm okay with it. And she used all the DMCs. I was gonna get the called for fancy flosses, but when I saw hers in the DMCs, I was like, oh no, I'm getting those DMCs. So here are all the beautiful colors. It's such a lovely mix, they're so pretty. And I actually have another fabric of the month inside of this one, which again, I don't think I need this large of a cut in here, but this is a 36 count, so it might take up quite a bit of this. And this is not another sampler. I will say this is one of Brandy from Miss Stitch Me's regular, like, you can order this dyed to order. There is quite a bit of a wait time, but of course it's that way for a lot of shops when you do like the dyed to order. So they pretty much dye it up for you personally, so sort of deal. But really good color, really good neutral. And I thought that everything, all the colors would really pop off of this. You can see it's kind of a golden yellow cream color, I guess. But I thought all those colors will really pop on there. And I really love this pattern. It's just so cute. It's a little bit more cutesy than what my typical style is, but I don't know, something about it I just really like. So that's in there. Next project, this one's in an actual project bag here. This is actually something that I have restarted a couple of times now, but I do have plans to restart it on a fabric that I finally have settled with that I truly am happy with. And this is Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. I have this kitted up with all of the DMCs and they are all in this bag. I'm just not gonna pull them out because it is a lot of DMCs. Like the whole bag, I think you guys can see, is just full. So in here I have a 40 count. I think this is, I cut it down to a 1/4 of a yard because I purchased a 1/2 yard at Stitchcon of, it's XJU is the dyer for the fabric. So XJU, I don't know, designs. And this is Grandpa's sleeve. How perfect is it for Halloween pieces? But how perfect is it gonna be for my Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow? So I'm really excited. I haven't seen anyone stitching the Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow on Grandpa's sleeve, but I really, really like this. It's just so pretty and I love the pattern. I'm really excited to restart it. And I've got some plans in the future to restart this pretty soon here. So I do need to get all my flosses on floss drops so that I'm ready to go. Just because I haven't had very much time lately, so I ideally should be going through and getting that stuff done. My next project here, again, in one of these Amazon bags. this is one of the early projects that I kitted up. This is a Happy Mood Point Sampler Christmas. Honestly, I don't know if I'm gonna keep this in my pattern repertoire, but I do have it fully kitted, so it sits as she is. I have this with a 32 count Lugana by Picture This Plus, and this is in the color Gingerbread. I do have a large, it's a half yard cut of it, so quite a bit of fabric. I did steal some, but I know I don't need this large of a cut for this piece, so it didn't bother me to take some. I'm stitching currently my Kathy Bear Good Intentions on this fabric, and it was just a tiny piece that I stole. But I'll have plenty of this fabric to stitch this, and I have some silks for this one that I got from my LNS, which is Thread Needle Street. If you're curious, Thread Needle Street really is the only cross-stitching needlepoint store in Washington State. You, of course, can go to just your, Joann's, Michael's, if you shop at Hobby Lobby, places like that. They're gonna have your resources for DMCs and maybe some like DMC specialty threads, but Thread Needle Street is the only place where you're gonna be able to get your hands on in person in Washington State those fancy flosses, those over dyes, those silks, etc. So I did pick up these bobbins. Do you call these bobbins? I already forgot. Spools? Spools. You guys taught me something. So I went with a darker burgundy red, a nice mid-tone forest green, just not too dark, not too light, and a brighter Christmassy cherry red. So I just wanted to kind of just play with these colors. I have a couple of each. I have a couple of each in my bag here, and that should be plenty to stitch up this piece if I ever do. But yeah, I just kind of leave it in my called for. This Happy Mood Point is a shop on Etsy. They sell PDF charts only. I went ahead and printed mine, but honestly, ever since I found Markup XP, I definitely will be plugging that pattern into Markup if I ever do stitch it. So from there, okay, this is one that I plan on using a fabric that I left in my stash room, but I'm not gonna go and grab it. So I'll just pop in a picture. So the fabric I'm planning on using is Heartland by Picture This Plus. I have a huge, I think half yard cut of 32 count, and I plan on using that for my Prairie Schooler. And I do have all of these DMCs, but I don't have them in the bag. I just know that I have this fully kitted because I actually did start this before in the past. So that's how I know I have all the flosses, and I UFO'd it and decided to restart on a different fabric. So I'm gonna use my cut of Heartland, which I have it currently in another bag. I'm pretty sure, because I do that, where I know that these are so small that I can fit 2 projects on that cut of Heartland, so I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, just really cute. This one is, sorry, I don't even think I said Prairie Seasons by the Prairie Schooler. I really do like it. It's just one of those ones where I'm like, is this my style anymore? I don't know. So you can see very minimal effort. I just have the pattern in here, but I do know that I've got all the fabric and the flosses. Next one here, some more Prairie Schoolers, but these are definitely more up my alley. So I have first off here, Bump in the Night by the Prairie Schooler. And I do plan on stitching the smalls as like Halloween ornaments because I do want to stitch stitch a bunch of them and do a little tree eventually in the future. Here is Prairie Schooler Sweeping Cobwebs. Next one is Prairie Schooler Pumpkin Patch. So I do have 3 projects in one project bag. Here are all the called for flosses. So it's all DMCs. So quite a lot of 310, some, what is that? 3371, that dark brown. Some 921, just kind of some cinnamony golden colors. And of course I have the called for fabric, which is a Witchelt's lamb's wool. So I have 3 cuts of that. And I do have a 4th one of these. It is currently a whip of mine. So if you're interested in seeing how that one's working up, check out my whip parade, which was my last Flosstube extra. But yeah, this fabric definitely has given me some struggles. I think the next ones that I stitch, I'm just gonna stitch them 1/2 because this is really tight for a 32 count, but it shreds up my DMCs really quickly. So yeah, I have 3 kitted up projects in this one bag. Maybe I should have said this in the beginning, but I know that I have a lot of stuff kitted up, and I just want to say that if you have like a negative comment to say about it, you will get blocked from this channel. I don't care. I don't care if you're just upset for some psychological reason that you were maybe not aware of, but before you leave that comment, just think to yourself, do you want to participate in my community any longer? Because if you do leave a negative comment, you will not be able to participate in my community, because this is a safe place for me and for my friends. Because I know the people that watch me are my friends. And so if you have anything negative to say about what I've kitted up over the past year and a half, or how many things I've kitted up, or that it's frivolous, etc., I'm doing fine. I can take care of myself and my family just fine. And I'm very blessed and fortunate. And so if you don't like these kind of videos, I'm not sure why you clicked on a kit parade in the first place. So maybe I should have added that in the beginning, but I'm just saying, I'm not down for the negativity. And you better not comment something mean. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, it's like, whatever, comment what you want, but you will get blocked. Anyway, moving along, the next project I have, this is Pandemic by Long Dog Samplers. And this is actually one that I do have fully kitted because I have a full stash of the DMCs, but I can't decide on fabric. I have a couple options in my stash, which I just keep in my bedroom, but my daughter decided she wanted to take a nap on mommy's bed today. So she's sleeping in there, but I haven't decided on fabric yet, and I'm still kind of up in the air about it. I honestly don't know if this is my style anymore. I just think that I'm not so much interested in these massive pieces like I was when I very first started stitching. I still love big pieces. Like, I love big stitches. That's why I had to cancel my fabric of the month, because the fabric was not a large enough cut for a lot of the projects I love. But I think this kind of not full coverage, but almost full coverage kind of deal is maybe not for me any longer, but we'll see what happens. So I've got this one in stash. I'm gonna keep it in stash. You know, we'll see if the mood strikes and I decide to start it. Okay, next whip. This was actually a gift. This is my token of love. So if you're watching, thank you so much. I really love this. I kitted it up right away. I went on to 123 Stitch and decided to purchase some fabrics and flosses. So this is just a beautiful cottage garden. I think it is. Oh no, sorry. Rosewood Manor pattern. And I call this my cheap Cam conversion, because Cam has this beautiful pink on pink conversion that she does with Dinky Dye's pink tourmaline, I believe, and an over-dyed fabric that is just beautiful. And that is such a lovely, like such a beautiful pattern mix up. But I decided that I wanted to do something just a little bit more affordable. And I went with, this is a 40 count Newcastle linen. What is the colorway? Blush. This is a 40 count. I think it's Weigart blush, because I just liked how light pink and soft it was. You really can't tell, but yeah, it's just a very soft blush pink. It truly is perfectly blush pink. And DMC 915 is my favorite DMC color, and I thought that this would just be perfect with the blush pink, and it is. I love it so much. So if you're looking for a pink on pink that is gonna really stand out, because that's another thing too, is that I really wanted the motifs to pop, kind of like they did in this called for, because they really pop off that fabric. And the Dinky Dyes with the over dyed is not quite the contrast I was going for. So my alternative was probably like half the cost, and I'm really, really happy with it. Cam actually helped me pick the fabric because she has a project going on blush right now, and I was like, girl, can you floss toss some 915 on there for me? And she did, because she's an angel. So absolutely love this. And yeah, it's such a good, like, if you like the pink on pink but you want more of a contrast, try that Zweigart blush and the 915 from DMC. It's like a bright fuchsia color, so really, really love that. The next one I have kitted up, this is one I want to start with some of my girlfriends, and I'm super excited. So I think this was released at Market this year. This is a Teresa Kogut Remember Me. It's a really pretty sampler style pattern. And I did go ahead and pick up the called fors, which I think is mostly DMCs, and then I did, oh wait, no, I think I did all DMCs, but I happen to have a skein of used brick, so I decided to just pull it from my stash. So I did all the DMCs except for that pink at the end, which is the used brick. And I will be using this 32 count Jackson Fabric Arts London Fog, which is like a perfect, I don't know, beautiful summery sky. It's like blush pink clouds with a baby soft gray blue background. I don't even know how to really describe it. It's very pretty, very hard to capture the true color in person, but I'll link Jakins Fabric Arts shop down below because I talked about her previously. I really, really love her shop. And the linen is very soft. It definitely it's not super, super even, but no linen is. When you're stitching on it though, I personally like to do 2/2 on 32 count, and I think I get beautiful stitches on this. So I'll link it below just so no one has any troubles finding it, because it's Jakins Fabric Arts. But I find that sometimes people have a hard time finding the shop. So love this one, very excited about it. I love Teresa Kogut's patterns. I especially love her Halloween stuff. It's so cute, so yeah, really enjoy that. Okay, so my next pattern here again is a PDF. This is the Vanity sampler, so I'll pop a picture on the screen here. And I actually just ordered a new piece of fabric for this, so it's gonna get to me tomorrow. So you guys will see it in my next Flosstube because I film on the weekends, and so it'll be here already by the time you guys watch my next video, or hopefully, fingers crossed, it gets to me. But I did end up ordering, what is it, Fiber on a Whim brown sugar, and this is Cam's conversion for the Vanity sampler by Hello from Liz Matthews. So it's a bit deeper and darker and more moody, but that's definitely more my style. The original is very muted, which I do like. It's very beautiful and soft, but I just thought Cam's conversion was perfection. Liz Matthews talked about it in her last Flosstube, and it was just super cool to see Cam getting some recognition for how amazing her work is, because she is very talented when it comes to color conversions. Her and Marjorie from Marjorie Made, who is also a Flosstuber, they just pull out these amazing conversions in no time. It blows me away, So I don't have the fabric yet, but I did get a 40 count. I'm really excited to restart this one. I think that I'll be restarting this with Bridgen because there is a what is it, 3 cat hairs stitch, or there's someone on Instagram who is starting like restarting a bunch of projects, I think next month or the following month. I'll have to double check with Bridgen and see when it is, but they're essentially starting this Sal. If I can find the information, I'll link it below, like their Instagram. If not, I'm so sorry, but I know that it's like this restart, and this is one that I need to restart. So I have it in my kits because I just ordered the fabric. I've got the flosses, got my pattern in markup. We're ready to go. The next one here, this is also a restart, and this is one that I think I'm going to use the other cut, the other half of Black Licorice, which was a pattern by, a fabric by Grace Notes that I showed you in my very first kit that I showed. So this is what I mean, how I'll know I have enough fabric for something, but I don't have it in the called for bag because it's in one bag and not the other. So this is a pattern by Carolyn Manning, and my girlfriends and I, we started these projects for Manning May, which was a Sal that we kind of came up with in a group chat all together, and I just really blew up, and it was so much fun. We're definitely going to be hosting this again next May, so pick out your Manning May projects, get them ready. I have Pumpkin Patch, which is a PDF. I'll pop it on the screen here. And I do have all the called for flosses. I am missing one of the oranges, so I'll have to grab that. I just kind of, like, sometimes I know I need it for another pattern, so I'll pull from the bobbin that I know it was on, the little thread drop I know it was on, but yeah, love this one. It's super pretty and just really bright and fun, but I didn't like the fabric that I was originally stitching it on. It was just like too similar to the colors of the pattern, and I decided I wanted something that really popped a little more but still gave me that like moody vibe that is Halloween for me. And I think that Grace Notes Black Licorice is going to be perfect for this one, so that's my restart. Next, I have a couple of kits. These are gifts from my Aunt Joanne. So Joanne, if you're watching, thank you so much. I really do love these. I think they're really cute, and I just keep them in stash just in case I ever decide to start one. So this is a gold collection. It's just a little teapot, and I feel like it's adorable, so why not just keep it? This is another one, Chart and Charms, and I do have some scrap even weave that I could use for this in the colorway Wheat, but love this. It's just kind of, it's like Noah's Ark, so super cute. The next pattern I have, this is Enchanted Quaker. This was another release from Market this year. I've never purchased from this designer before either, Luminous Fiber Arts. I will say if this is available as a PDF, I would definitely snag up the PDF because the chart is pretty, it's really broken up. I can't show you because it's the chart itself, but it's very broken up, and that made it a little bit tricky for me. I don't have very good eyesight. I wear glasses, so it's gonna be a little tricky, but in here I have decided to go ahead and stitch this on Cream and Sugar by Fiber on a Whim, which is just a nice basic creamy white color. Very, very softly variegated. Not much, but a tiny bit. So it's a good basic cream. And of course I got this from Hollis Hand Creates. She's my favorite, Christine. And I have some flosses from Bridget, the museum stitcher. She gifted me these at Stitchcon, and this is a color and cotton in the colorway Salem. And you can see there, it's like a purple, black, gray variegated floss. So I thought it would be just perfect for this. And she did actually gift me 5 skeins of it. But this pattern's quite small, so 3 skeins is more than enough. Although I do think I'm gonna do it 2/2, but 3 skeins is probably still enough. And I've got that all in a tiny bag. Ooh. We're like halfway through, guys. We're getting there. Next project, I just actually kitted this one up, so this is going to be in my acquisitions for my next Flosstube, so sneak peek. This is Practical Magic. This is a primitive hair pattern. I was going to use just the, so I have it kitted up, I'll show you here eventually, but I have the Autumn Cloche by Hello from Liz Matthews, and I ended up ordering a Roxy Flossco conversion on that. Well, the colors ended up being so close to the colors needed for this Practical Magic stitch, I was just gonna use those to stitch both projects. But it's coming down to Halloween time, and I definitely wanna start this soon with Bridget the Museum Stitcher. So I'm just a little worried that I won't have enough floss, and that made me just go ahead and purchase the called for. So it's mostly DMCs, luckily, so that was super easy to purchase. Just did a 1, 2, 3 stitch order, got myself the DMCs, and I got the Storm Clouds, which is a very green shade. But yeah, like that, love it. And I do have the called for fabric. If you are looking for some of this fabric, I found my cut at Threadneedle Street. So you can always give her a call and she'll send you on over the cut of fabric. And it is the primitive hair fabric. So love that. Super fun. Cannot wait to start this. Like, I cannot wait. I love Practical Magic. I'm definitely gonna play the movie, watch the show, and or watch the movie and start my stitching project. I'm very excited. I'll have to put this one to the side so I can put it with my stuff for my next video. And this next one, this is also kind of a sneak peek into my next video because I got sent some kitted up projects by a viewer, so thank you so much. I literally cried. I just cannot believe your kindness and generosity to send me these things. She made me this bag. It's so perfect. It's so me, and I couldn't believe it. Like, I was so excited. I was talking about all my girlfriends because I was just so freaking excited about the stuff that she had sent me. And when Daniel got home, I even told him all about it because I was so happy. He was like, oh, that's what that box was. So she sent me the Witchy Stitchers. This is Ghost Stories. Oh, it's so cute. And she sent me the, oh, I just slipped it underneath my bookshelf. She sent me the call for flosses with that, which was some weeks, as well as some DMCs. I believe these DMCs go to this one, but I just can't believe that. And also, not only that, but she sent the Fortnite Fabrics 32 count linen in here. This is 1/8 of a yard. It's like a subtle version of Pumpkin King. So if you are interested in finding some of this fabric, I would order some Pumpkin King. I feel like it's a little bit easier to get your hands on Atomic Ranch. So if you like the fabric, but thank you so much, Dawn. Yeah, you're amazing. This is like the sweetest thing. I can't believe that someone would even think of me to send me something, to be honest. So it always surprises me that any of you guys reach out to me to ask me if I would want a pattern or if I'd be interested in stitching this or that. Like, yeah, sign me up. The next thing that Dawn sent over, and I did go ahead and purchase the flosses for this ASAP. They haven't even gotten to me yet, so I ordered them off a 1, 2, 3 stitch. So thank you, Dawn, for the enablement. This is Autumn Cottage by Plum Street. which I love. It calls for a lot of weeks dye works and some classic color works. So again, I ordered those off of 123 Stitch. I'm gonna stitch this and then send the pattern to Bridget, and she's gonna stitch it as well. Bridget is the museum stitcher. I just love that lady. She's like my stitchy twin. I do have a piece of fabric that I pulled from Stash. This is 32 count Picture This Plus in the colorway Wren, but I don't know if I'm gonna use this or if I'm gonna use a little bit more of a Moody color. I'm waiting for the flosses to get to me to decide, because that'll kind of be my, you know, floss toss will be the deciding factor. But again, thank you, Dawn, for that pattern. I really love it. All right, and Dawn's generosity did not end there. She also sent me, this is Plum Street Samplers Jack's Bash, which is upside down. It's such a cute pattern. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. I know I get too excited. I apologize. And she was so freaking nice. She sent me all of the called for flosses. I did throw in a skein of 310 just to replace the Raven colorway, because I think that that's the only floss that's not in here. Can you believe that? Are you freaking kidding me? This is literally too nice of you, Dawn. This is too nice. I can't. You never really experienced people just being nice to you to be nice to you. Do you know what I mean? And so it blows your mind to meet someone that is this generous, because we all know how much cross stitch stuff costs. It ain't cheap. So I just really, really appreciate it. And it was just amazing that she sent this on over to me. And this is that cut of fabric that I was talking about earlier, because I'm going to stitch my Jack's Bash on it. And I'm also going to stitch those Prairie Schooler seasonal stitches on here. So I actually have a start on here right now, because I originally thought I was going to use this 32 count piece of Heartland by Picture This Plus for my Vanity sampler, but I didn't like the way the gold was playing with the floss colors. That's why I ended up repurchasing from Fiber on a Whim instead. But luckily, this side of my Heartland is really dark and very mottled. So I'm going to use that side to stitch Jack's Bash. I'm going to use this side, which is still very mottled but much lighter, to stitch my Prairie Schooler seasons. I'm gonna have a lot of bloopers this time, I'm so sorry. But yeah, this side, it just has a lot more of the white cream color, so I think it'll be really good for the Prairie Schooler seasons, and those are really small, so I think it'll make it a little bit larger on the 32 count, and this half yard will be plenty for those projects. So yeah, I love that. Excited to start it. I think that there are some Flosstubers that started this recently, because I know I saw it on someone's story, and now I cannot for the life of me remember who it was. If you guys know who I'm talking about, comment down below and let me know. Next project I have kitted up. This one I know I have all the flosses, because this is also a restart for me. I have all the DMCs, so they're in my stash. They're just hanging up on the side. I just didn't want to pull them all and put them back in. But this is Stitchy Box Samplers, and this is, which one is this? Sarah Moon 1791. So love that. And I have this on, I think this is like a classic Colorworks fabric or something of the sort, and it's called Burnt Honey. I honestly can't remember. And I do have a start on here, which I am just gonna cut off, because there's no way I am pulling out these tiny little baby stitches. I just felt like this doesn't show up well enough on the fabric. See, on camera it doesn't look bad, but in person you really can't see a lot of the detail, and it really gets lost in the fabric, especially the white. I mean, it could just be that that's such a large cream colored rose that it doesn't really look all that much like anything. But especially this like golden yellow color is pretty much spot on what the fabric is. And so I figured, you know what, I'll use this fabric for something else. Pretty sure it's a 36 count. It is a very tight 36 count though, and my stitches are so small that I would say that this is a 40. Yeah, I would say it looks more like a 40 count to me. But yeah, I just think this pattern is beautiful, and the color reminded me of the called for color regardless. So I'll restart this eventually. Honestly, I would actually love to get the called for silks for this. I think it's Lavender Soise, and maybe eventually I will. That's one of the reasons I haven't put the DMCs back in this bag. because I'm toying with the idea of slowly purchasing those Veriswas over time. The downside is they don't tell you how much you need of each color, and I don't want to go out and purchase 2 of each one just to make sure I have enough, and then I've over purchased and also kind of overspent for one project, because I don't think I'll use those silks for much else. But I'll start with one, go from there, and hopefully, because the fabric is like a 36-40 count, hopefully it'll be enough with just one skein. Moving on from there, this is another pattern that's gonna go into my stack for next my next floss tube, so you guys really are getting a sneak peek. This is Hello Halloween by Teresa Kogut, and I have fully kitted up the pattern that's on the cover. I will say the flosses that are used on the pattern on the cover are used a lot throughout the book, so ideally I could technically have multiple things kitted up, but I did go ahead and just purchase all the called fors for the cover, and that was a few DMCs here, and oh, there's another DMC stuck in, and a few fancy flosses. There is Onyx, Pelican Gray, and Chickpea from Weeks Dye Works, as well as a Classic Colorworks in Colonial Copper. So just some really like subtle Halloween colors, I would say. And I am using a 40 count, again, XJU, XJU fabric, or XJU Designs. And this is, I bought a half yard at Stitchcon, so this is the other, the other fat corner, because I cut it in half to stitch my Halloween Quaker. So this is the other piece, and I just think that's gonna look absolutely amazing for this piece on the front cover. Initially, I was thinking I might just split up these and make them into small little flat fold or pin cushion style things, like, what is that? A drum. There we go. So I was thinking like maybe some drums or pin cushions or something, you know, but I really love it. And I do have the fabric and I've got all the flosses now. So we'll see what happens. There's tons of other cute patterns in here that I enjoy and like. So I'll probably just keep on adding to this bag as I purchase more flosses for other patterns and other linens and Adas or whatever. I'll just toss them in here and I'll know, you know, these are the stuff that I want to set aside for this book. Oh, this is another one from Dawn that got mixed in with the others. I'm telling you, she was so generous. This is, my husband really liked this one, by the way. It's Autumn Lane Baba Yaga. She did send me all the called for DMCs, which was quite the bundle. Like, that's a lot of DMCs. So I'm super grateful and thankful for that. And on top of that, my husband also loved this fabric. This is Catacombs by the Stitch Me, and this is beautiful. Look at this. Oh, it is so pretty. I think I'm definitely gonna stitch on this side because I like how bright the modeling looked on this side, but I definitely want some more of this fabric in my stash. Thank you so much, Dawn. This fabric is life-changing. I just absolutely love it. And I really do like the Stitch Me's fabric. So if she ever does have any of this in her like ready to buy, I will be snagging some. It's so beautiful. So I'm excited to start that one. Next one, kind of keeping on theme, this was a gift from Bridget, the museum stitcher. I did swap out the fabric because I stole the fabric for a start that I had. This is Lucy Beam 11 stitches. This is Cross Stitch Makes Everything Okayer. And I really liked this cover photo. Like, I liked the way the pillow almost looked like it had rust on it or something. So I tried to go through my stash and see what I had. I didn't have anything close, but I did have this really modeled sand dollar. And this is just a cut, like I cut it in half because I used it for another project. But this was a fabric of the month, so I'm not sure if it's in Brandy's regular shop. And I have all the called for flosses here for this one. So a nice little bundle. And I just thought everything popped on that really nicely. So I decided to go with that color. Bridget had sent me like a nice lavender fabric, which would have been really pretty. But I ended up using it for my bird sampler. So she got stolen, but it all works out. That's super cute. Next one is a Halloween project that I have here. This is Needle Bling Designs Midnight Ride. And I just love this style of pattern. I think they're so cute. And in here I have a Picture This Plus Bramble, which is a purpley gray. And this is a 18 count Ada. Really pretty, right? I think that's gonna be so cool for this pattern. And in here, I just have Witching Hour and Shaker White kind of my go-to for black and white pieces. So I think that'll look great. Next one, I do actually need to purchase fabric for. So technically this isn't fully kitted. It was, but my girlfriend needed the fabric, and like, I'm not gonna start this anytime soon. So I had this kitted with a 40 count Fox and Rabbit in, I can't remember the name of the color. Well, anyways, I had it kitted with that, but since my girlfriend couldn't find any in stock anywhere, I was like, oh, I'll just send you my piece because I'm not using it right now. And obviously I have enough stuff to start, so I'm doing fine. But I'll probably repurchase that same fabric. I think that Christine from Hollis Hands has it in stock right now. So if you're looking for some Fox and Rabbit fabrics, definitely check out Hollis Hand Creates. She's usually got a few different styles in stock, but this is a Long Dog Samplers. This was also a gift from one of you guys, so thank you so very much. And this is the token, totally my style. I just absolutely love these like monochromatic Quaker style pieces, and I do have some Veriswat silks in here, and this is like a 45 meter hank in a very dark navy blue. I don't know if you can see, it's quite beautiful though. So yeah, that one's ready to go once I get some fabric. So in here I have two projects. I know that just by seeing it. And this is one that I fully kitted up at Stitchcon this year. So this was one of my kits from just a couple months ago. So this is the Salem Sisters Apothecary by Primrose Cottage Stitches. I've never purchased from this brand, but I really like this aesthetic. So maybe I'll have to check them out on Etsy. And I went ahead and purchased Gloriana in the colorway Antique Black because I wanted like a subtly variegated black. And I thought that was perfect. And I also wanted something a little bit, you know, extra because it was Stitchcon. And I have in here, this is enough to stitch both the pieces I have in this bag. So that's why I have them together. Dames of the Needle Mermaids Firewood. I've never even heard of this brand before, but really pretty. So I thought this would be perfect for that Salem's Apothecary sign and for this Lala D that I purchased at Stitchcon. And this one is Witch, which I think is absolutely adorable. And I also kitted up with Gloriana in Antique Black. So 2 skeins of Antique Black, the fat quarter of fabric, and both patterns all live in one project bag because I ran out of project bags, okay? I always tell myself I'm gonna order more, it'll be fine, and then I never do. So here we are. The next one is one I really struggle with because I don't know if this is my style enough to really commit to this large of a piece, but I love Halloween, so it's so hard. Praiseworthy Stitches, Esmeralda's Academy of Charms. I would ideally like to make it a little bit more spooky. I might end up ordering Grace Notes Black Licorice for this one. Currently, I have Jackson Fabric Arts in the colorway India Ink. I just feel like this looks like a very dark night sky. And this kind of reminds me of like when the moon is illuminating behind some clouds and stuff, you know? So I really like this. I love the fabric. It's definitely a good one for my spooky taste, but I don't know if it's ideal for this project because the trees probably won't show up very much. I think the house would look really cute though because it'd be very bright and like it would pop off the fabric. Here are the flosses because it is quite a hearty mix of DMCs. So this is a huge bundle of my DMCs all stuck into one project bag. And it's a project that I'm not that passionate about. So it's hard because I can't decide if this is a pattern that I just want to give away or if I want to sit on it a little bit longer. I did get it at my LNS, but yeah, I'll just sit on it for a little while and kind of decide when I decide. It's really cute. I love the little trick-or-treaters that are running around at the bottom of the pattern. Let's see if I can get it close enough. Yeah, you can see them. I think they're so cute, but I don't know if it's enough for me to want to stitch it. So that one's one that I'm iffy about. I have like slowly gotten rid of some more stuff that I've been more iffy about, but we'll see what happens. Next pattern, this is a UFO for me because I had started it originally on that burnt honey or burnt sienna, that golden colored fabric. So I had stitched this, actually this side, this upper corner here, but I just wasn't happy with the fabric. This is one that I'm having such a hard time finding fabric for. I have a couple pieces of fabric coming in the mail, So I'm hoping that one of them works for this, but this is the Hands Across the Sea Samplers Ann Thomas 1854. Again, beautiful project. I absolutely love it. I just don't know if it's something I want to commit my time to. I don't know if this is one that I'm that interested in any longer. So I don't know, I'm gonna sit on it a little bit longer. And honestly, if I don't like the fabrics that come in the mail, probably end up giving it away. And I did do all the called for DMCs. So again, a huge bundle of my DMC stash is sitting here, not being used, not being looked at, just, it feels really wasteful. And I have a couple others that I haven't even put on the floss drops yet. This is one of my very first starts, so it's even on some paper floss drops that I made myself at home. Now I use all the acrylic ones that I bought off Amazon, and it is in a handmade bag that I sewed up for myself. Next projects are all in bags that I've sewn for myself, so I won't, right? Yeah, all the next projects are in bags that I made for myself, just so you're aware. So fun little bag, cool little kind of like, this is my favorite mix of fabrics. Cool little fabric. This is a restart. I have a lot of those. Haunted House Sampler, and this is by Twin Peak Primitives. I love this one. Finally a Farm Girl, Chrissy, she's working on this one too. I love when she pulls it out. And I have Picture This Plus Fog in a 28 count. Fog is such a good neutral. It reminds me a lot of Cream and Sugar, but a little bit more variegation to it, or modeling I should say. And I just have all the called for DMCs with that. So I would love to get this restarted. I just don't know when. I like the pattern, like definitely like it enough to stitch it. So I know I wouldn't get rid of this one, but I don't feel like a pull to it currently. I don't know why. I think I just have a lot of Halloween stuff. And so with so many options, I mean, you can be picky. The next one here, cool little Halloween bag. I did the green lining. And this one has another autumn lane. This is Something Wicked Comes This Way. So how cool would this look up on the wall with the Baba Yaga next to it? I feel like that's super fun. And I actually went ahead and kitted this up with the called for Haunted by Picture This Plus, because my L&S has this usually in store, so I purchased it while I was there. Love this fabric. This is a really pretty tealy, purpley, well, it's not really purple, but there's like some spots that look more gray purple, and I absolutely love it. And I have all of the DMCs in here, which is a lot of 310. But I'm pretty sure it's stitched 2/2, so you use up a lot of floss. Next one, I love this fabric. This is one of my favorite fabrics. I had actually sewn myself a skirt out of this fabric too, and I did a gray lining. This is one that is a PDF, and since again I use Markup XP now, I don't think I will keep this as a bound copy, but since I already did have it printed, I feel wasteful if I don't use it. So I had it bound with a back and a front cover, which is clear, and this is Happy Halloween. I just really like this one, and you know what? The cover photo doesn't do it justice. I actually saw someone, there's a cross-stitching group called Cross Stitch Unlimited on Facebook, and I saw someone working on this. It's a Brian Jakins design, Jakins. And I just really like it. It's love, as in LUV, 4, like the number 4, cross stitch. And I just found them on Etsy and went and purchased the pattern, and I had it bound like this at Office Depot or Office Max, I forget. And I do have all the called for flosses, but it's a lot. So again, it's a lot of DMC just sitting in my stash, and I do feel wasteful, but I mean, don't even tell me anything about it because I'll cry. Yeah, I love the pattern. I would like to have this one. I love the way it looks. I just don't know when I'll start it. And then this one, I don't have a fabric in the bag because I haven't decided what fabric I'm gonna use just yet. I've got a few in my stash that are just creamy white, and I think I'll end up going with one of those. If not that, I actually think, again, Grace Notes Black Licorice would look really good for that one. Next one here, loved this bag. The fabric was so pretty. This is Autumn Quaker by Rosewood Manor. I love this one. And I have in here a 28 count vintage country mocha. So you guys know what vintage country mocha looks like. I do actually really like this one though. I don't know why. I just think it looks really nice. Nice good size cut of that. And I have all the Valdani cotton flosses. I thought these were silks, but they're actually cotton. Aren't they really just, even the sheen to them, and they're so smooth, let me tell you. So I just have their little box in there. Yeah, they're cotton. I'm just so surprised they're cotton, let me tell you. They're very smooth and such a pleasure to work with. But yeah, this one is one that I want to start with Bridge in. I think a couple of the other ladies might start it too, because it's just so cute. I think it's gonna look great. The called for is a picture of this plus fabric, but I cannot get my hands on it for the life of me. At least when I was kitting it up. And since I already have a 28 count fabric in here now, I'm not too worried about buying the called for. Because I like the way this looks. I think it'll look great, and it'll be really easy to stitch on because those vintage country mocha bases, they're just very true to their count, whereas Picture This Plus is a little bit of a tighter weave, so I think it'll be a little bit more enjoyable with how thick the thread is, because you do use like the full like off the bobbin. So okay. Next one here. Okay, this one I know I have a huge piece of fabric in here, and I do not need a full yard, but it's what I've got. So, or no, a half yard. This is Autumn Close from Hello from Liz Matthews. This is a restart for me because I am dumb. So I stitched this line across the bottom and completed the cloche and started filling it in and realized, oh, there's a whole nother piece on the bottom of the cloche that goes outwards. So the width of my stitching, like the actual stitch space, gave me no margin. And I was just like, you know what? Stop while you're ahead, restart it, start fresh. And I happened to order this piece of fabric. So this is a 40 count Woodland Halloween by Mountain Air hand-dyed fabrics. I will say though, do not order this fabric. I had such a bad experience ordering from this company. Like, he complained to me about his drive to the post office having to deliver my stuff. So anyway, I have the Leo and Roxy, because back when I ordered this, they still were Leo and Roxy. Now it is Roxy Floss Co. flosses for this. And yeah, beautiful conversion. I do have one other, this is Eggshell by Classic Colorworks, because there was a misprint, because this was like the beginnings of the pattern being released, and so one of the DMCs was incorrect, and I just replaced it with a called for that I had, or sorry, I replaced it with a color I had in stash, so it was no big deal. And I thought, I'll restart this on this really, really pretty Halloween fabric, and it'll be so moody and so beautiful, and it'll bring me joy. Even though the fabric experience sucked, I will be able to enjoy just stitching away on this beautiful project, because anything Liz Matthews does, all myself and the girlies, we love it. We love it, okay? We'll eat up some Liz Matthews, let me tell you. She's just the best. So, love this. I'm really excited to restart it. I'm excited to restart it, like maybe this autumn, we'll see. Finally, guys, we're only an hour in though, so I'm doing good. And plus, a lot of this is like me itching my nose, which I'll be cutting out. So my next project, and the final here, is one I've had kitted up for quite some time, and this is actually a restart as well. Little House Needleworks, The Library. The original, like, I think I had a 28 count Monaco that I was stitching this on, and I just did not enjoy it. It was not a pleasant stitching experience, and you know what? I was like, if I'm not enjoying it, why am I doing it? So I have this decent sized, it's like a half yard that I cut down a little bit, piece of vintage country mocha in a 40 count. And that makes it as well to where I can do the project 1/1. And I've got my flosses here. So these are the called for fancy flosses, and then it does call for some DMCs, which I have the rest of the DMCs in the bag with these cute floss drops that a lady reached out to me and she sent me these. Her and her husband make them, and yeah, they're lovely. They're pre-stamped for you, really smooth, soft wood, nice big hole for your floss, a nice smaller hole to put your remnants on. I'll link her below if I can find her again, because yeah, I really appreciate those, and I think that it was just perfect for this project. It's gonna be so cute all kitted up. So yeah, that, is my last kitted up project. Look at that. I don't know how many that was, but maybe I'll have a tally here at the very end. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I appreciate you guys as always for just being part of my life. And yeah, there's a lot of exciting things happening in my life, which I'll definitely, you know, tell you guys more about as the time progresses. But yeah, thanks so much for watching my Flosstube Extra, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye. And honestly, Alexa off. Let me just go grab those. I thought I just heard something. Whatever, moving along. What is it called? Sitting on the floor was not a good idea. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Oh my goodness. Guys. We're doing okay. No, I need to stretch. My mom body can't sit on the floor this long.